Hi, what's up everyone, here's Str1kes, and today we're going to talk about the cheaper models of the LFA. Of course, there's one part where you can't compare. The noise in the LFA, it's something else, and you can't get that except for the price tag. So the LFA is a really expensive car. It sometimes costs over $1 million, and it definitely costs more than €1 million. And the cost in these cheaper models that I'm going to show is going to be like about 10-20 times cheaper. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it's a pretty good deal for what you're paying. Okay, let's start. First, the RCF Lexus. Of course, all the cars I'm going to show are Lexus because they're the cheaper models and they're still Lexus. They still have amazing luxury. First, let's start with the cost. Actually, no, let's leave the cost for last, which I have some sellings, some used cars to show. LFAs usually are not used, but these ones are gonna have like 3 owners, 2 owners, whatever. But they still have a pretty good amount of miles. First, the RCF. Let's first talk about the performance and design. So all these cars, the LFA, the RCF, and the next one, which is the ISF, all are rear-wheel drive. So the RCF has diagonal dual tips on each side, like this. They produce 464 to 477 horsepower in a 5.0 liter V8. People talk about the RCF usually as Lexus muscle car and rear-wheel drive with a 5 liter V8. I'm just saying, they might be right. Next, the ISF has also a 5 liter V8, but it's probably an A. I'm actually not sure about this. I can actually investigate it real quick, but I believe that the ISF is NA and the RCF, it probably has a turbo or something, or it's supercharged. I actually don't know, but I'm gonna check.
5 minutes later.
Okay, so I just did my investigation and they're both natural aspirated, so I think probably the RCF has a newer model of the engine, just a better model. Then the ISF is the exact same thing, a 5.0 liter V8, but it produces 423 horsepower. It still has a diagonal dual tips on each side, but they're slightly different. I'm going to show you right now. So this is the LFA, the inverted triangle 3 tips that produce that sound that everybody knows. Then this is the RCF with the round dual diagonal tips on each side, and this is the ISF. Put that closer, but I guess y'all can see it right here. They're still round, but it's more of an oval type of round and not as diagonal. They both look good and sound amazing. I'm gonna show the sounds a little bit later, but let's continue. Let's go to the luxury. So both the RCF and the ISF are pretty close in terms of luxury. Of course, the LFA costing $1 million, it has an added sort of luxury, but I think the materials are quite the same. Of course, if you get a different trim of the LFA, you probably have what? All carbon fiber stuff. I mean, you would expect that from $1 million car. And for the last one, before the cost, we would get to go to the noise. First, let's start with the ISF. If you want to check any of these videos, just watch them. Here are the titles and channels. Shout out to them. I really think the ISF is more pinched than the RCF, but I'm gonna show you the revs, I think. Hold up. Okay, these are custom exhaust tips, so it's maybe not as natural. Yeah, these are custom, but you can hear it. It's more of a high pitched. Now I'm gonna show you the RCF. This is the channel and the title. You see, it's not as high pitched. I believe it has more of a bass sound, but it doesn't mean it doesn't sound as good. Maybe it even sounds better. Whenever you're ready to rev it. Yeah, I think the ISF has a little bit more of a high-pitched sound, while the RCF has more of a bass sound. Okay, last one, the LFA. We all know the LFA sound, and it's just amazing. Yeah, this car sound, it's uncomparable. It's unique. You see that guy's reaction back there? Look at that. Oh. Look at that reaction. I would have that reaction as well, for sure. Okay, for last, the cost. First, let's start with the RCF. So the RCF has a cost of about $50,000, but I found this one for $47,000 with 38,000 miles, which is pretty good. In Europe, I found this one. It has a lot of mileage, but both the ISF and the RCF that I found have a lot of mileage, but these are the best, the cheaper prices. So they had previous 3 owners, and yeah, it's a 2015. Next, the ISF on the US, I found it for about 40,000, but I found a 38,000 good price. It has 80,000 miles, which isn't bad, but it's still a lot. And in Europe, I found this one with 166,000 miles. And well, it is a lot of mileage. It is really, really cheap. Now, the last one, the LFA. This was the cheapest that I could find on the US, $830,000. It's a lot, but now let's check Europe. It's €1,000,000. It's even more expensive here. Well, the US LFA had a little bit more mileage, but it's still a difference of around $200,000 slash euros. Yeah, that's basically it for the video, and I hope y'all like it and learned something, and maybe try to get those cars because they have very luxurious, they have good performance, they don't sound as good as the LFA, but they are great cars. For a muscle car that no one is expecting, the RCF is a really good choice. The RCF also has an hybrid version with around 270 horsepower. You can also get that for a better consumption. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.